Hello and welcome to I Heart Board Games, where today we are going through a tier list of the top 100 because it's a hot thing to do right now. This is not my first time to do a tier list. I've done several tier lists here on this channel. Go check them out. But let's go ahead and jump into this tier list. This is from tiermaker.com. If I remember to do it, I will put it in the description below. So let's jump in. Gloom Haven, I have played this one. Do I need to make a haven't played? Add row below. Here we go. Unplayed. Alright, so Gloom Haven I have played here. So I've played this like 44 times. It's very good. I haven't felt compelled to get the digital version yet, but someday I might. But that really has no bearing on what I feel about Gloom Haven. I think Gloom Haven, seeing as how I played it so much, I mean, I guess that's got to be the S tier game. I still feel good about that. We have Pandemic Legacy Season 1. Have played it all the way through. Very much enjoyed it. That's got to be up there too. Through the Ages. I really like this one. The app. I got to shout out to the app because the app takes what is a 3-hour game and shrinks it down to just like 45 minutes. So if I could play this game in 45 minutes, that's good. But even in its long form, it's good. I don't know if it's S tier though because of the timetable it takes. I say it's an A game. Terraforming Mars, this is one that I never have a problem playing. Is it S tier? Nah, it's an A tier. You know why? Because these graphics in the game, while memorable for sure. When you put this game beside a game that has beautiful art, it doesn't stand out. It doesn't look great. But in its execution, it's a good game. So let's put it in the A. Twilight Struggle. This is a game I have played. So where do I put it? Because it's been years since I played it. Only played it once. I don't know. So this one, I think I'm going to put in a B tier. Because it's been so long since I have played it. I remember kind of liking it. I think it'd be more of a game that I think it would be a game I would enjoy a lot more today. So let's move on to Star Wars Rebellion. This is a game I keep trying to get to the table, but something keeps stopping me from doing it. I really like it when I play it. It's a 2-player game. That's probably why it's hard to get out to the table. So I'm going to go with my memories of playing this game. I'm going to put it on an A tier. Gaia Project. Here's a game that I didn't like as much as I had hoped. I want to try it again, but I haven't since, so I'm going to put it at a C tier. I like Terra Mystica, but I want to save my comments for that because we got it coming up very soon. Twilight Imperium, this must be 4th edition. I haven't played it. I've had many opportunities to play it, but I know the length of the game, and I know it's probably good. I enjoyed the 3rd one. But this one, I'm going to have to put it unplayed because that's the truth. Scythe, I just recently played the digital version of this. It's been a little while since I played the physical version. I think it's a B game. Yeah, I'm not itching to play the physical version. I don't even own it. So I think it's B. I think that's a fair spot. I do like everything about it. The art's great. Minis are great. Yeah, I really like it. In fact, I almost might want to put it in A. I'm going to keep it B. Western Trail. The Great Western Trail. This game I really enjoyed the first time I played it. But then I noticed the cowboys. If you don't do a cowboy strategy, you can get pummeled. And if you have a way around the cowboy strategy that maybe I'm not thinking of, let me know in the comments below. But right now, knowing that there's one strategy that is a must, I got to put this on C. With a balanced game, I'd probably put it at a B or an A. Terra Mystica, I do like Terra Mystica. It's still really high on my list. This is an A tier game for me. Where does it get negative marks to not be an S? I don't know. It's a big teach, so you're not introducing new players as much. But for the people who know it, I think A tier is fine. War of the Ring, I haven't played it. I have played, I don't know if it's on this list, so I don't want to say too much. But the other one, like War of the Ring, which is Battle of the Five Armies. At least I've heard there are similarities. So I like that one. Brass Birmingham. I didn't play Birmingham. I've only played the other one, which I believe is on this list. Castles of Burgundy. I'll always play Castles of Burgundy. It's an S tier game. Easy to teach. Yeah, it gets some negative marks from the production of the game. I haven't played the new printing of it, but I've heard not great things about it. So it's an S tier for me, though, because I'll usually play that. Spirit Island. I didn't like Spirit Island. For me, this is an E tier game. I'm glad I don't own it. I didn't have a good time with it. And that's just how I feel. Which actually mimics my thoughts about this one as well. So Seventh Continent is a game that just took us too long to play. I didn't like it. Like when we started, I was like, okay, I can get into this. But then it just kept going and going. We did one scenario and it took 3 sittings, 3 days to finish it. And the save system just wasn't great. I mean, it worked, but it wasn't intuitive. I don't know. I didn't like it. Seven Wonders Duel. I heard this game is solvable, but I haven't solved it yet. So I still like it. The fact that I haven't broken it out in a while probably puts it at a B tier game. Yeah, it's almost A, but it's B. Concordia. I really like Concordia. I like how it's easy to teach. Ronald has said, Ronald from Board Games has said it's dry. In fact, he has a top 100. He did this tier list, exact tier list. And so go check his out. I believe he posted it on Instagram. Ronald Hart's Board Games on Instagram. But for me, Concordia, honestly, it's an A tier. I would never get rid of Concordia. It's easy to play. Viticulture. Here's a game where I first learned it. Didn't like it. But I played it again and actually had someone reteach me the rules as if I never played it. And I really enjoyed it. It's one that I'm considering getting. So for now, I'm going to put it at a B tier because I haven't took the leap and gotten it myself. So for now, it's right there. Arkham Horde, the card game. I played this at a convention with someone running the game. So it was the best setting for it. They had all the neat little pieces. Even though it's a card game, they still had like footsteps to show our paths and stuff like that. So it's best foot forward for Arkham Horror, the card game. And it didn't really get me. Like, it was okay for that experience. But I knew if I took this home and did it myself, it wouldn't be nearly as great as having this person run it with all their bits and pieces in front of it. So I'm going to put it at a D tier. I'd probably give it a go again, and maybe that would raise it up. But for now, it's that. Puerto Rico. This is an oldie but goodie. This is one I used to own, but I don't anymore. And I felt the itch that I may have made a mistake now that my gaming tastes have changed since I owned it. When I owned it, it was very early in my gaming experience. And I may have released this one to the wild too quickly. I think my thoughts back then were that, it's everywhere. It's a popular game. I can get it again if I need to. And it might come to that. I'm not sure. So for now, I think I'm going to put it at a D tier because it kind of falls in the same line as Arkham Horror that, well, not quite the same, but the fact that I would like to play it again, but I don't see myself buying it again. So we got Brass Lancashire. This one is fun. I enjoyed it. I don't feel compelled to buy it, but I also hear it's kind of hard to get. All the Brass games are. I've heard Birmingham is better. Well, I mean, clearly from the top 100. So I'm going to put it at a B for Brass. Caverna. Here's a game I do own. I have not unloaded it yet because I know there's a good game there. It's just a lot to get out. I'm happy to own it. It's just playing it is it's a big deal, and I know I enjoy playing it. So I got to put it at C level because I haven't felt compelled to get it out there and play it again. But just talking about it right now, I want to play it again. So that might go up. Mage Knight. This is one that I bought really early on, and it was a beast to learn back then, but it sat on the shelf for 4+ years, and we decided just recently, maybe like 2 months ago, that I'm going to get this back out again. We're going to play it. And I got to tell you, now that I've played so many games, going through the rulebook again and playing it again, not that bad. Your memories, if you haven't played this in quite some time, may be the same as mine. When I said, I haven't played it in a long time, I remember being hard to learn. It's not that bad. So if you have it sitting on your shelf as well, get it out there, play it again. It's a fun game. I give it a B. There's maybe some things that could be updated that, I don't know, felt kind of antiquated, maybe. I can't name anything off the top of my head right now, but I had a good time. I had a good time playing it. So I'm fine. I'm going to keep owning it and all that stuff. We have Agricola coming up. So Agricola, kind of like Caverna, has been sitting on our shelves for a long time. Honestly, though, with Agricola, I probably never even would have bought this game, but I found it at a garage sale for like $3. And when we bought it for $3, we looked inside, and the blue pieces were replaced with quarters, and there were 5 of them. And so really we got like a $1.25 discount, and then I just had some extra blue pieces at home, so we fixed it all up. I haven't played that copy of it. I really should, but this is another one that I would like someone around that really knows what they're doing, kind of like Arkham Horror, the card game. I got to put this on a D tier, although with the caveat that I don't want to sell it till I play that copy of it. Orleans, however you want to say it, from Tasty Minstrel Games. This is an S tier game for me. I like everything about this game. I love the bag building, the mystery behind it. I love the art. The art's great, which is very familiar art. It's just a good feeling whenever you're just pulling the right things out of your bag. You built this bag yourself. You're going around the map. Let's talk about the expansions, even though they're not included in this. I just want to touch on them. So far, I've played the Invasion and the Trades one. Both of those are okay, but base game, I love the base game. However, the one that gives goals to the cities from the Trade and Intrigue or something like that, I forget the name of it right now. That is one of the must-play modules that I include. But the rest of them, I can take them or leave them. A Feast for Odin, for Odin, I think it is. I say I think because I've never played it. I really want to play it. I recently played Isle of Cats several times, and I hear comparisons with Feast for Odin, so I want to play that. Mansions of Madness. We played this here on the stream. We played the 5-hour version, broke it up into 5 episodes. I love this game. This is S tier game. This made the apps acceptable. I know a lot of people still don't accept the apps, but Mansions of Madness, I happily accept the app because it just made the game so good. Like, you don't need a DM. You can play with all of your friends. You jump right in. The teaching of Mansions of Madness is a breeze because it's a co-op. So you're there helping your friends anyway. And it's just easy. I love it. Food Chain Magnate. This is one game I played 1.5 times. The halftime is we played just to get the first few rounds, and then we played again. People love this game. I guess I'm not people because I didn't like this game. I don't like the art. It takes me out of the game. You'd think it'd keep me in the game further, but it didn't. I don't like how if you start this game, how do I put this? If you don't start this game in a certain way, you're going to lose. That's not fun. And they're making a whole expansion called the catch-up mechanic or something like that because of that reason. Or at least that's how I understand it. If I'm wrong about that, post that in the comments below. But that's how I feel about Food Chain Magnate. I didn't like it. When the catch-up mechanic comes out, I might try it again. But I don't own it. But I might try it again. However, with the length of time that it takes, I'm not expecting to get a fulfilling experience playing this game. That's how I feel. Blood Rage. I've had Blood Rage since release, Kickstarter. Still love it. Still play it a lot. It can be a mean game. So where would I put this? I like it. I'm putting it at A. It's a great game. The thing that keeps it from being an S is probably the fact that some people get kind of hurt playing it. I mean, it's a game, though. You know, let's just take it easy. It's a game. So, next up we have Legacy, Pandemic Legacy Season 2. I kind of enjoyed it. I still remember the story, so that tells me something. However, it just wasn't as entertaining as the first one. And it was completely different, which is fine. If they did the same thing, I would probably feel upset about that. So I guess I'm happy they changed it. Let's put that in the A tier. I still remember the story. It was more about the people I was sitting there playing with, so that helped. And yeah, not as many stories as the first one, but the second one was pretty good. We have Mechs versus Minions. I didn't even know that was top 100. That's crazy. So, Mechs versus Minions. This is a game that came out for like $75 with a lot of stuff in the box. Everybody was freaking out that this game would change the landscape, would make games not nearly as valuable as they were. I remember publishers talking about that. Of course, if you look at the landscape now, it hasn't changed a thing. So, Mechs vs. Minions. It's an alright game. I have a good time when I played it. However, I never finished the campaign. It's still sitting on our shelves. The production gives it some points. I wish it was a game that didn't have a campaign just to have replayability somehow, or more so. I'd give it a B. Now, I'm sure there's a way to play it without campaign, but, you know, meh. So what is this thing? I'm going to look that up later. I don't know what that is. I'm going to put that down here. Power Grid. This is one of our first purchases, Power Grid. Very mathy, but I like the art style. Some people are turned off by it. I'm not. I'll put it in a B tier. I still enjoy Power Grid. Don't like the math, but that's okay. Imperial Assault. Never played it. Look forward to playing it someday. Through the Ages. This is the first edition. I never played the first edition. I only play a new story. Zulkin. Hey, kitty cat. Zulkin. Never played it. I love Teotihuacan. Same designer. Azul. This is the new, latest go-to entry game, I think. Lovely tiles, lovely presentation. If you want to teach people what board games are these days, Azul's the way to do it. So for that reason, I'm going to give it an A, not an S tier. I find this one to be, in the slightest bit, clunky is the first word that comes into mind, if that makes sense. I also don't like how the point track, you nudge it a little bit, it's going somewhere. But, you know, you can always buy aftermarket stuff to stop that. But I would hope that out of the box, some solution was figured out for that. It wasn't. But A is a good rating. It's in good company. Eclipse, want to play, never have. Le Havre, want to play, never have. Wingspan, we've played this many times. Some people think it's down here. For me, it's an A. Is it an S? It might be an S. So we have all of the bits in this box, like all the aftermarket stuff to really make this game pop. We've played it on our stream 3 times, I think. If you look at the third time we play it, you get to see all the little bits we have. We played with guests, and it might be an S tier. We'll never get rid of it. The art's beautiful. It's out of the box in its theme. Yeah, what the heck? It's an S tier game. Wingspan, huh? It's so simple and good. Let's put it S tier. Robinson Crusoe. So this is a game I had the second edition. Is that the one with the brown box? I think it is. Because I think this is the third. If I'm wrong about that, I had the one in the brown box. It's a beast to learn. However, I recall when we finally played it, it was entertaining, but not enough to stay in the collection. I'm going to give it a D because of how difficult it was to learn, but knowing that there is a good game there. Clearly, it's top 100, but for me, it's going to land in the D. Marco. Polo I've never played. Clans of Caledonia. So this is a game that I really didn't like the end game for it. The scoring was a mess. I remember playing it and thinking it was like the mid game is fine. So for that I'm going to give it a D. If it didn't have decent mid game, like I would throw it into E. Netrunner, this is a game I did play. So many people love this game. It wasn't for me. Maybe. Why wasn't it for me? I sold the copy to a local person. I gotta put it at a D right now. It didn't feel like I was hacking anything. It didn't feel immersive. So I gotta put it at D. Yeah, it's a card game. It's hard to do that, but there's some card games that really get it done. And maybe Netrunner didn't do it for me. You know, whenever I'm playing a card game that feels like, I don't know, it maybe felt like a Magic the Gathering kind of game. Magic's a great game, but you know what you're getting into with Magic the Gathering. I don't feel immersion in Magic the Gathering, except for from some cards. But with Netrunner, it just felt like we were just going through the motions. So that's where I stand with that. Root or Root. Root. This game, the teach is, always a challenge with that, and felt like doing homework at times. However, there's the idea of it. I do enjoy the idea of Root. However, this fell flat with my group, and if it falls flat with my group, I can't do much about that. I would give it another go, maybe at a convention with someone who teaches it really well. But yeah, it fell flat for my group. I'll put it at a D. It's not quite deserving of an E. I know some people got it in the S tier, but I can't do that. Seven Wonders. This is a game I always enjoy playing. Simple, easy to teach. It's a B tier game. It's just the drafting. So there you go. Anachrony. This is a game I really want to play, but I haven't played yet. Keyflower. This is an enigma of a game for me. So I've played this twice. I learn it. I play it. As soon as I'm done, I forget how to play it. So I play it again. I have to relearn it completely. Well, I haven't played it for the third time yet, but guess what? I have no idea how to get back to it. So why is that? Why does this one just keep evading my brain? It's still in my collection, so it must be for that reason that I want to learn it. I want to play it again, so I'm going to put it as C. Because it's sticking around. Race for the Galaxy. This is a game that did not stick around, unfortunately. I really like the mechanism of, well, a lot of games do it, but someone chooses an action, everyone gets to follow it. But I think what it lost me on some of it may have been the card play. Maybe I'm not a big fan of card games, even though I'm trying to look up above. I mean, to be fair, a lot of these just aren't card games just because they're not in the top 100. Seven Wonders is a card game, though. I like that. So, yes, Race for the Galaxy. I'd play it again if someone brought a copy over and said, hey, you want to play it? Yeah, I'll give it a try. But, yeah, I'm not going to request it. Dominant Species? Have not played it. Kalis? Have not played it. Fields of Arl. I do like this game. It's a two-player game, so that stops it from coming out on game nights, but I enjoy it when I play it, even though I forgot a lot last time we streamed it. It may have been a mistake to stream it, but that's okay. We're just having fun. I still like it. I think it's a B-tier game only because it's two-player, but they have that expansion that's supposed to make it three-player. So I'll be looking into that one. Lords of Waterdeep. This is worker placement. OG, not really, but OG to me because it was one of my earliest worker placement. I still play this on the app. That's fun. I'd put it at a B, I think. Still own it. Still have a good time with it. Love the skull expansion. Scoundrels of Skullport, whatever it's called. Really like that. 5 Tribes. I treat this as a two-player game, maybe 3. Play with any more than that, you're going to sit around just thinking a lot. Recently streamed this one. This is a C for me. I like playing it. Problem is, it just takes longer than it should. Too much AP, which is something to consider when you're designing your game. Rising Sun. This often gets compared to Blood Rage because it was, same designer, a bunch of minis. I like Rising Sun equally. If I had to break it down to, like A plus or A minus, I think Rising Sun would be the A plus and Blood Rage the A minus because I do like it a little more. So it's an A for me, though. That's all I have to do. Okay, so we have another Twilight Imperium. So this must be 3rd edition. Is it? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to treat this as 3rd edition. It's a little small. Yeah, it says 3rd. I had to get a closer look. So this is 3rd edition Twilight Imperium, which I have played. I don't feel compelled to own it simply because the odds of me getting this out is on par with a lot of these giant games like Game of Thrones, which is coming up here toward the end. That's a game I have that's really hard to get out. So, Twilight Imperium 3rd edition. We're going to put that... Knowing there's a 4th edition kind of hurts it too. So I got to put that at a D tier. Like if I were recommending this, or, if I use this list to recommend games to people... I'd be, why is that on D? Well, because there's a 4th edition and it also takes forever to play. El Grande. Played it once. It's aged. It's still okay. I don't own it. But it's not that bad. Probably put it at C. Would I play El Grande over? Yeah, I think I would. Put it at C. I don't own it, but I do own... No, I don't own Gaia Project either. Okay. Eldritch Horror was a game we owned, but has since left the collection. Why did it leave? It didn't get played enough. Like when it came to going around the world with the Cthulhu stuff, I don't know, it just didn't catch on with the group. So it's departed. I'm going to put this at a C, though. Honestly, if it came out with like someone running the game that really knew what they were doing, I'd play it again. That just wasn't in our group. Clank. I love Clank. I prefer Clank in space, even though the graphics in this Clank are a little better, I'd say. I just like the sci-fi theme and the modular board. In fact, the most recent, or to me, it's the most recent expansion for Clank in space. Really makes the board look nice. It's a big oval. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we did play that here on the stream. You can search for Clank in space on this channel. So Clank is I think it's a great way to introduce people to deck builders. I think the tension's there. Wow, I think this might be an S tier game. Even though I prefer Clank in Space, it's like S plus, S minus type of deal. It could still be really good at an A. I mean, but I'm trying to think, what's the negatives of Clank? I don't have much to say about that, so I'm going to put it at the S. The Gallerist, I have not played it. Codenames, I have played it. So, Codenames, some people hate on Codenames because it's so common. But I think that's a positive for the hobby as a whole to have a game out there that's as popular as Codenames. But how do I feel about playing it? I still like Codenames. I like thinking of ways to help my partner in this game. I think it's an A tier game. I think it's fantastic. I don't like the expansions, but we're not talking about like the expansions. The base original game, the Duet, not Duet. Is it Duet? Codenames Duet? Yeah. That one's good too, if you have 2 players. But the Codenames, they have a 2-player option in the book of Codenames. It works out pretty well. Dominion Intrigue. Used to own it. I no longer own it because of games like Clank. So when it comes to deck builders, I like the next evolution of deck builders. I like Clank. I like Tyrants of the Underdark. So Dominion wasn't scratching that itch anymore. So it fell out. So I'm going to put this at a... D seems harsh for that. I'm going to put it as C. It's just too basic. It's not a bad game. It's just too basic for a deck builder. Patchwork, 2-player, Uva. So this game's good. It started the whole thing. Well, not didn't start it, but it really popularized the Tetris shapes, fitting everything into one board. I still like it. I think it's a B tier game. I play the app more than I actually play the physical version because putting out all those pieces takes forever. And then making a whole path around your table is big. Mombasa, never played it. Battlestar Galactica, did play this one. So the last time I played this was probably my favorite time I played this, because this is a game that I wasn't really crazy about when I first played it. But then I started watching the show, and that helped. And looking back on that, just it was a good experience. So I'll put this in the C's because it kind of reminds me of like the way I felt about Great Western Trail was, except opposite. You know, I didn't like it at first, but then I kind of sort of liked it more, whereas Great Western Trail really liked it at first and then kind of fell off for me. Roll for the Galaxy. Roll for the Galaxy, it was sold the same year as Race for the Galaxy. I did own it. I got it at Barnes & Noble discount sale, one of those. It was very similar to Race for me, the feeling of it, so it belongs in D. Trois, never played it. This is... I can't quite tell what that is, but I think it's Sherlock Holmes. You know what would be useful for me to actually pull this list up on BoardGameGeek so I could tell what the heck I'm looking at. So far, I've done pretty good just guessing. In fact, I know what all the rest of these are except for this one. So I'd say I've done pretty good just based on these tiny images of what things are. So we're going to all board games. So I'm going to search Sherlock because that's what I suspect. Yep, I suspected it was Sherlock. And that's exactly what it is. I do have this game. I'm having trouble getting people to play it with me. It's a lot of reading, a lot of figuring things out. I like that sort of thing. So I'm going to put it in a B tier. It's one of the older versions of it. You know, one of the older of its type. You know, Mythos Tales is out there. Not Through the Desert. The other one, you know what I'm talking about. There's a bunch. There's a bunch out there. Russian Railroads, really want to play it, never have. Tigris and Euphrates, never played it. This is Trajan. At least I'm pretty sure it is. It is. This is one I haven't got to the table in quite some time. I remember really enjoying it. So for that reason, I'm going to put it at a B tier, possibly up to an A tier. Time Stories. This is a game that started off strong and fell. But I think I still had a good time playing it at a C tier because it's really dependent on the modules you're playing with. And the first one was great. And there was like 2 other ones that were pretty good. Yeah. Lisboa, never played it. Want to. Pandemic. Here's a classic. So base Pandemic is still a great gateway co-op, in my opinion. I don't get it to the table much anymore. I did get the expansions for it because I wanted to try them, but never did. I still have them though. Still want to try that someday. But base Pandemic, when it comes to co-ops, I don't know. I'll put it as C. Still kind of fun, but not super fun. So Dominion, I gotta just put that right there with his buddy Intrigue because it has the same faults. Hi, kitty. X-Wing. So this is a game I had, and I tried playing it. It just it felt like I was playing a minis game, and I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't into it. One-on-one minis game. Crokinole. This is a game I played apps version of, but I finally got to play real versions at BGG Con because they have this whole dexterity area, and I could see how it could be fun. I would put this at a B, I think. And the reason is I don't have a board, but I think if I had it, it would just stay out all the time and I'd play it just whenever I wanted to. Dead of Winter. This is a game that we usually bring out around Halloween. Usually have a good time playing it. I don't win, but I don't care that I don't win. Sometimes I do win, but I never minded winning or losing that game. It was about the story that happened. I think it's a B tier game. I don't think the expansions have done any favors to it. Kemet. This is a warring game, fighting game. I enjoy Kemet. I remember enjoying Kemet. This is a game I don't own. Never have owned it. So I've always played other people's copies, and I don't know. I wouldn't mind owning that someday. There it is, at a B. Pandemic Iberia. It's amazing that a game came out so recently that didn't really catch fire, but it's here, and I haven't played it. So we have Agricola right here. What is happening with this? Why are there 2 Agricolas? Revised edition. Well, same thing applies. I'm going to put it right there next to it. I think it's fair. Aeon's End. For this game, this is the base game. I never played the base game. So I guess that's got to go there. I've played War Eternal and I played the Legacy game. So you can watch that to see what we thought about those. Raiders of the North Sea. This is a game I have the app of, once again. I have a lot of board game apps. This game is a good time. It takes a lot to set up. I remember playing that. I played it twice or once. Either way, it took a while to set up, if I recall. But that's not a big negative. I think it's fine. You're about to see what I think of Architects in a second. So for Raiders, I need to play this again. But I think I got to put it as C. Maybe potentially a B when I play it again. Teotihuacan. This is a game that I mentioned earlier. Kind of spoiled it. I didn't think it would be on this list, but here it is. I enjoy it. I like it a lot. This is one I need to play more of. And it shouldn't be a problem getting people to play this. So I'm going to put this at a... It's almost an A. Maybe a B. I think it's an A. Yeah. A, maybe a B after I play it again. Forbidden Stars is a game I've owned for quite some time. Never played it. If you know me, if you play with me, let's play this game. Architects of the West Kingdom. I've heard some mixed opinions about this one. For me, and Melissa, she really likes it too. I'll put it an A. It's almost an S tier, but it hasn't quite reached that spot yet. So next up we have Descent. This is a game that I've wanted to play for quite some time. Well, let me establish that. I played it whenever you had to have a DM for it. Now they have the app, and so I want to try it again with the app. I almost categorize this as if I've never even played it. But I'm going to put it as C with potential to be a B, and who knows, maybe after I play the campaign an A. But for now it's a C because I'm not feeling compelled to get it out on the table. There's lots of cool minis and stuff. I really want to try it, and one day I will. Stone Age. This is an oldie but goodie. Had a great app. iOS just, it left the store and I haven't been able to play it again. But overall, I enjoy it. Ronald Hart's Board Games, he did not enjoy it. I think it's okay. Theme is dry, but I like the boats part of it. I'll put in a B. I feel good about a B. Yokohama. This is one I've always heard as the Istanbul Deluxe, or not Deluxe, but the next step after Istanbul. I really like Istanbul. It's not in the top 100, but Yokohama is. I'd like to try it again, but I don't own it, but I'll play it again. But let's put it in the C category. And here's why. I recall it took forever to set up. Lots of pieces to put out, lots of the boards to put out. And the fact that I just haven't gotten it back to the table. I think it's a TMG game, so that's good points for me. I really like Tasty Minstrel stuff. Alchemist. This is a heavy, heavy game to me. Burns my brain every time. Some people are like, oh, that's easy to understand. Well, not for me. So, Alchemists, I don't think I need to play it again. I have a good time when I play it, but it's like, nah, I'm good. I have other games I could be playing. I don't think it's a bad game, though, so it's not a D. I'll put it in a C. Champions of Midgard. This is from Gray Fox Games, a game I really enjoy. I had it in my to-go box for a long time. Like, games, whenever I would go somewhere, I bring it along with me. That and the playmat. I'll play this anytime, I think. Is it S tier? As far as worker placement goes, I feel like it's the next step, worker placement, adding in the dice, just being a really good design. Yeah, let's put this, ooh, S or A. This is a tough one, but I think I'm going to have to go S. Like, when I think of worker placement, it's a great one. It's better than Architects, though, when it comes to worker placement. It has so many cool options, and the theme just kicks it up a notch. Yeah, let's leave it an S. Yeah, well, what do you think about that? We'll see. Star Realms, a great little game in a tiny little box. Also a good app. Let's throw this in the C. It's just okay. Feels kind of like deck building took a turn to Magic. I enjoy playing the app and stuff like that. I don't break out the cards too often. C is a good one. Legendary Encounters. This is the Alien version of Legendary. Why isn't the Marvel version of Legendary in here? So Legendary Encounters we didn't have a good experience with. Maybe we just got a bad deal. That can happen in Legendary. But I still got to give it a D. What am I missing about Legendary Encounters? Let me know. This is a game we played not many times, and we culled it. So, there you go. War of the Ring showing up again. So we're going to put that right next to it. Castles of Mad King Ludwig. I like this game. I like most things about it. I like how there's a master builder. I enjoy building the castle. I did not like the expansion. So we're just talking about the base game. This is a B tier game for me. I like it. Grand Austria Hotel. This is one I've played twice. I don't own it. And it's okay. For me, I think it's a C tier game. Istanbul. Oh, it is in here. I just didn't notice. For me, it's a S tier game. I really like Istanbul. It's just, it's light. Easy. But good strategy there. It's a race. I like games. I like racing games. Even though I don't seem to have... Oh, Clank's kind of a racing game. And it's in the S tier. I like racing games. Game of Thrones. This game is hard to get on the table, but it's a fun game. You gotta like fighting each other and sitting there for a long time even though you're getting beat. I think it's a B tier game. Huh. For its length of time and difficulty to get out, I gotta put it at C tier, but it's almost a B. Yeah, I think that's where it lands. Avalon the Resistance. Personally, I prefer the original Resistance. Avalon was okay. I think we still have it. I put it as C, simply giving points to Resistance. If that's how you have to play Resistance, then that's a great way to do it. So the last thing we have is Kingdom Death Monster, which I moved off to the side earlier. I have never played it. So kind of a lackluster ending there for the top 100, but this is my list. How does it compare to yours? Let me know in the comments below. But once again, these are all opinions. Tell me what opinion I got wrong and what opinion I got right. But until next time, the box is closed.